Scrub gang, what is up? Welcome back to another video on the Everyday Gaming channel, guys. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more of an informative video. I wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite rifles to use right now in Warzone, and I got inspired to do this video because, my homie, Odd Kid Out that I play with all the time, I recommended a rifle to him, and in one of the first games he used it, he popped off. We called a dub. It was awesome. So I was like, you know what? I might as well recommend some to all my viewers. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order. Well, the order I'm going to go in is basically how I have it in my class setup. So I'm going to start with the FAL. Now, I know a lot of people have trouble using the FAL because it is semi-automatic. Harder to put a lot of shots on target as fast as an automatic weapon, of course, but this is the build I use for it. The FAL still hits really hard, even though it did receive a nerf. It still is great. You guys see me use it tons and tons of times over and over and over again. It's really, really nice. I use the monolithic, the XRK marksman, commando foregrip, 30 round mags. I believe I've seen some people use 24, but I need all the rounds that I can get, especially when I'm competing with 60 round mags and automatic weapons. I use the integral hybrid for close and long range engagements. I use the VLK on almost every other weapon, but I do not use it on my FAL. I don't like it on the FAL for whatever reason. You guys can use any sight you want, but this is the sight that I go with. This thing still hits like a truck, so I would definitely recommend it. Now, this gun here, I think, is the most slept on, most underrated gun right now in Warzone. It is a laser beam, and I'll put a clip here just to show you guys. You guys have seen me use this gun. This gun has amazing accuracy. It doesn't move, right? And I use the monolithic Tempest marksman. I actually use the Merc foregrip because the ADS is just fine. 60 round mag and then VLK optic sight. Now, the reason I like the M13 a lot, and I know a lot of people don't use it because it doesn't have the fastest time to kill, but since it's so accurate, you can keep all of your shots on target, right? And that sort of makes up for if you're using another gun, let's say like the Ram, that has more recoil, but way faster time to kill, but you're missing shots. This kind of makes up for those missed shots, and you kill kind of just as fast. It's kind of interesting. It works that way, right? It takes more bullets, but since you're keeping them on target, you actually get that kill sometimes faster than you would with another gun where you're missing shots. So the M13 is really, really good. I always pop off with that weapon. I really, really recommend, if you're someone who struggles with recoil control and landing your shots, use the M13. It'll change your life. I promise you. I promise you. Now, this is not a weapon I use all the time, but a weapon that is solid nonetheless, and I have to recommend it. The monolithic suppressor, the Grau, with the monolithic suppressor, Tempest 26.4 Archangel barrel, the tac laser, of course, commando foregrip, and 60 round mag. Now you could put the Merc foregrip on here as well. With the tac laser you get fast ADS. This gun still is strong. People stop using weapons. They tend to stop using weapons just because they hear it got a nerf, and there's kind of that placebo effect. This gun did not get nerfed into the ground. It's still very, very viable. People just don't like to use it for whatever reason. I see it way less, but this is still strong. It still hits like a truck. Of course not as good as it used to be, but still very, very good. I would recommend it. Now we have the M4. This gun has been a mainstay throughout all of Warzone. Of course it's not as strong as it used to be, but I use the monolithic suppressor, the stock M16 Grenadier. If you're using the Corvus Custom, I would advise you to switch to the stock M16 Grenadier because the aim down sight speed difference and the movement speed difference really isn't drastic enough to warrant using the Corvus Custom. Now, I'll tell you this. I love the way the Corvus Custom marksman looks over the Grenadier, but of course, we're trying to win games here. So the Grenadier is the better option. I use the VLK optic because it's basically what I use on every weapon. Besides the FAL, 60 round mags because you need as many rounds as possible. Commando foregrip, but if you wanted to use a Merc foregrip, test it out, see how you like it. And that's one thing you have to remember, guys. There is this template here and templates you see all over YouTube, but try what works best for you, because what the best players or the pros use might not be what you like, might not be what you're into. And even if you don't like the VLK site, try a bunch of different sites. And lastly here we have the Kilo. Now the Kilo you're seeing a lot right now. People are talking about it, this is the new meta. This gun hits like a truck. It's great, great accuracy, all that good stuff. I don't use it as much because I love how accurate the M13 is, but this gun is very solid, and when I use it, I use the 100 round drum. Now, I know you guys might be concerned about the ADS speed, but I'm going to show you here a comparison of the Kilo ADS versus something like the M4 and show you that it really isn't that bad with this build that I have on it. Monolithic suppressor, the SynGuard arms, 16.6 SOCOM, but you can also use the 19.8 Prowler. I actually would use the 19.8 Prowler. I don't know why I have the 16.6 on it right now, but I use the 19.8 Prowler. Commando foregrip, 100 round drum, the VLK optic. 100 rounds on an assault rifle is insane. And the fact that you can just pop it out and put it back in like a clip or a magazine is awesome. So, you know, this gun, while for me right now it's, you know, it's like an acquired taste, it is very, very solid. And to the fact that it can use 100 rounds in a clip, you can mow down an entire team with just this weapon with some pretty good accuracy. So the Kilo right now is very, very good. I would recommend it. Let me show you that comparison of the ADS with the M4. It really isn't that bad. Alright guys, so here we are in a custom match comparing the Kilo build that I showed you guys to the M4 build. I wanted to just show you guys, you know, I wanted to test the ADS speed. Now, I know this is much slower than what you guys are used to with a gun, you know, like the M4 and other builds. This is, you know, it's much faster, but this is a weapon that I really, you know, with a 100 round drum on it, this is not as slow as I've seen, you know, some other guns, maybe even the AUG full build with a 60 round drum on it. This ADS is not that bad, and even if you get sort of a pre-fire going, you can kind of, you know, mitigate that loss in ADS speed. I know that's going to be much faster, but it's not that much slower considering you have 40 more rounds. And I actually wanted to test something really quickly because I thought this was very, very interesting. These weapons, of course, one has 40 more rounds in the chamber, in the magazine. Let's do this here. I want to do a recoil test. Check this out. Not going to control any of the recoil. 100 rounds. Alright, that was 100 rounds with the Kilo. I'm going to strafe over to the right here and do the same exact thing with the M4. Alright. Not controlling the recoil. So, if you compare the two here, considerably less recoil on this Kilo with 100 rounds as compared to the M4 with 60. Now, of course, you know, if you're doing recoil control, you're going to be able to have a much better grouping with that. I'm not saying the M4 has absolutely terrible recoil, but this is going to be much easier to control considering, you know, it has 100 rounds and that only has 60. So pretty insane. The Kilo is very nice, very strong, and you know, I don't use it as much because I love the M13 laser beam, but I certainly am going to recommend it to you guys. Now, I want to go through and show you my RAM build, because I'm not saying that those are the top 5 best weapons you can possibly use in Warzone. The RAM has a bit steeper of a learning curve, and that's why I don't really recommend it to a lot of people, because it has more recoil, and at longer ranges it's harder to control than a lot of these other weapons. But monolithic suppressor, FSS Ranger, you know, damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, you really, you know, it's like the TAC Eclipse, but it gives you more recoil control. Commando foregrip, you know, to compensate for the ADS speed loss. 50 round mags, of course, because it's the only thing you can put on it. And the VLK 3.0 optic. This thing, it melts people. It has a really fast time to kill, and you can see over on J God's channel, if you guys have if you guys have watched his videos, awesome. If not, you should go check him out. He does really dope in-depth analysis of these weapons. I'm not even going to pretend like I've done all that crazy research, but this gun has had a very, very fast time to kill for quite some time. Not a lot of people use it though, because it's not as easy to use as these other weapons. If you're up for the challenge though, if you can use this weapon correctly, this weapon melts people. Very, very good. Those would be right now my recommendations for the top weapons to use in Warzone. I mean, if you guys wanted to use the AN94 and the AMAX, you know, they're definitely viable. They're definitely not going to put you at a terrible disadvantage. But right now, I'm definitely not recommending the AK. I'm not recommending the SCAR. Not recommending the Odin, and the FAMAS or the FR556 is just a waste of your time. The most popularity that gun got was when the shotgun on it, the underbarrel attachment, was broken. So it literally had to be absolutely broken for people to use. It's not worth your time. Does not. You're putting yourself at a severe disadvantage using this weapon. The Odin, while it hits like a truck, doesn't have enough ammo in the magazines and shoots just very, very slowly. You're better off using the FAL and trigger fingering. So that's it for today's video, guys. I know today was a sort of a shorter video, but I wanted to give you guys recommendations, show you the builds, all that good stuff. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with everyone you know and love. And if you're new, welcome to the Scrub Gang, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's clip. Hopefully I'll do more like this. Maybe I'll do some, with other weapon classes in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
こんにちは。
神羅天聖